had this huge fear of judgment from people from my high school. In 2017, I wanted to start a podcast. I was like, I'm a yapper. This is perfect. So what do? I get on Amazon. I order a microphone. It gets delivered the next day, Amazon Prime things, and it sits in the box. It sits in the box for 6 months because all I can think of is if I create a podcast, keeping in mind back then, podcasts weren't really a thing for regular folk like you and I. If I put out a podcast, what are people from high school going to say about me? That like every single time I looked at the box with a microphone in it, that's what I would think. And I was like, no, I can't do it. Then finally, at the end of 2017, start of 2018, I was like, you know what? Fuck this. This is all I can think about is I really want to create a podcast. So I did it. I recorded my first episode, I remember, and I put it on GarageBand, put it together, and, I was like, oh my God, this is crazy. Put it out. I saw it. It was on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and I didn't tell anyone. I was like, fuck that. I am not marketing that on my Instagram stories. Then I made a couple more episodes. I was like, I'm just never going to tell anyone. Like, at least I'm doing it. A couple of weeks go by. I get a message in my DM request, and it's this girl. And she goes, hey, Jess, I've been following you for a while. I didn't know you had a podcast, but it came up on my Apple Podcast, and I want to say that I absolutely love it. I can't wait for the next new episode. And that DM changed the way that I was thinking about the podcast, because I realized that part of the reason I wanted to begin a podcast, part of the reason why I have the business I do, is I want to impact people. I want to make the best impact on people. My motto has always been connect with women to help them reconnect with themselves. And I remember just reading that and I was like, why did I care so much about what people in high school are going to think about me? At this point, I was like 25 or 26. And so this is just your reminder that those fears are going to come up. Those fears are very real. I'm not going to tell you they're fake. They are very real. Like, I felt it in my body, the thought of someone from high school listening to my podcast. But think about the thing that you want to do. What is the impact that it's going to create, not only in your life, but in other people's life? And since then, I've had a podcast for years now. And when I get messages, I still get messages, and it's still, you can see it gets me giddy like that first message. The fact that someone is listening to what I'm putting out and it's making an impact in their life.